Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Path of Exile build guide. In this one, we're going to talk about a Hierophant Totem build. And mainly this was supposed to be an Ice Spear Freezing Pulse Totem build guide, which is already linked with an updated build guide in the descriptions below. However, I do want to stop right there and start by mentioning the new ability released with the 3.15 Expedition. Now this guide is being recorded the day before the release, and there is a new ability called Eye of Winter. It seems to me that that ability would actually function perfectly inside this build without any significant changes. You would have to change some of the support gems and remove the actual threshold jewel that is used for freezing pulls, and that should be perfectly designed for this build to be used as well. Obviously, this is something that I'll be putting to the test in the league release coming up now with the 3.15 Expedition later this Friday. So I just want to have that out of the way, and I do believe that because of that, this build will be a tremendously amazing league starter build for that league specifically, since you're able to go back into using Freezing Pulse or Ice Spear in case the ability fails on delivery. So enough with that, I'm just going to go ahead and explain this build. So basically what this build is doing is that you're self-cursing yourself due to the unique item Soul Mantle. It allows you to have one more support gem than you normally would when doing totem approaches with Soul Mantle. And then you would be self-cursing yourself every time a totem expires or dies. Now, self-cursing yourself doesn't sound that good, does it? However, there's a couple of ways to counteract this. In 3.15, the minor Pantheon god Ugul will provide 20% curse effect reduction. Now that means that you could just lack another 80% to reach the cap, and more information about it being capped can be found in the video linked in the descriptions below. To get the remaining 80% on a low budget approach, we're using the Kikasaru rings. Those two together with the Pantheon god Ugul means that you will not be affected, or at least barely be affected, by the curses that you apply on yourself. This in hand further allows us to use the unique item Self-Flagellation Jewel. This increases our damage by 20% increase per curse on you, allowing us to skyrocket the damage application that we are able to scale to our totems. We're also using a unique item called Rain of Splinters, which allows us to get 2 additional projectiles for our totems, and we're also using a unique threshold jewel for the freezing pulse called First Snow. Now, the reason this build is using both Ice Spear and Freezing Pulse is because Freezing Pulse is insanely effective for the sake of clearing, whilst Ice Spear is insanely bad at clearing. However, Ice Spear is incredibly strong for single target, especially in a build like this that scales up to 100% crit chance for the Ice Spear for the sake of single target and is doing purely cold damage, which allows us to freeze and shatter enemies and remain safe because of this. Other than that, the build is strictly designed around the Hierophant, which means extra totems, but also a lot of extra mana thanks to Divine Guidance Ascendancy node, which allows us to get increased effect of Mind Over Matter. Now, Mind Over Matter allows us to take damage before mana instead of our life pool, and this is calculated through basic algebra, so when in this case we have 40% Mind Over Matter, you would simply divide 4 by 6 and get a 66.7% effectiveness. That essentially means that despite the low life pool, if you multiply your HP by 1.66, you'll get the actual life you have. And to find out how much mana you need unreserved to sustain this, you take the life pool and multiply by 0.66 to find out how much mana you need unreserved to sustain this extra mana pool or life pool. Other than that, the build is very straightforward. It uses Holy Flame Totem as you're leveling and goes straight into the Ancestral Bolt Keystone, and it's just absolutely super solid to level with early on. This build is proven to be able to handle endgame bosses such as Uberelda on something as low as a 5 link, and is able to kill the absolute hardest encounters in the endgame when you get a bit more currency invested, such as the Feared Encounter from Maven challenges. I'm very excited to play this build. I'm very to see how it turned out on the forum guides as well. I hope you guys are as well. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this ability, especially in combination with a new ability called Eye of Winter. Till next time, boys, stay safe and keep rocking.